Yep. 4, 3, 2.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Away with Words, the podcast. It's your girl Bree Stories.
It's Aja Noasia.
And it's A Tati.
We have a very, very special guest. First of all, this is our first guest in our new set on the new season.
Yes.
Olivia Fox herself. Gorgeous girl. We're going to be telling you all about her because she may come in this pretty package and you're looking like, oh, okay, a nice little treat, another bad bitch, but she's actually here to educate y'all. So the gag is you're going to learn today. So before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and check in. Olivia, you'll fit right into this.
Of course.
I want to start with Michael.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hell no.
Physically, I feel warm just from going up and down the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Just drinking and stuff, you know.
Just ding.
Emotionally, I feel emotionally. I don't know, I guess I'm a little tired, kind of drained, but, you know, that's not really an emotion. I mean, I guess it could be, but...
Are you emotionally drained?
No, I'm not emotionally drained. I just want to just relax my brain for a little while, just
We'll
from
call it
traveling.
fatigue.
Yeah, there we go.
Mental fatigue.
Yeah, mental fatigue. My attention is currently on just getting back into the swing of the week. Came back from traveling, so I just gotta map the week out. And spiritually, I feel blessed.
I love that.
Grace AIDS.
We went to church.
Here you go. Not you with the
Nope.
Okay, I'll go next.
Girl.
Physically, I feel like I am embodying freedom. I cut off all my hair.
Yes.
As you can see, there's nothing on my neck.
Piece.
What if I really came in here with a 27 piece? With a bang, with a feather
That would
bang?
make me uncomfortable.
I would hope that if you were good people, you would ask me to get out. You would just tell me to go
Actually, but
home.
you're not going to be on the podcast this week. We just need
No,
to
this is mine. This is mine. I cut her all off, and I just feel like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just great. Emotionally, I'm feeling joy as fuck, and my attention is currently on. Just trying to implement a different type of focus and understanding that, like, we look at other people or, like, look at celebrities or, like, social media or, like, people that we deem as successful, and we think that we know what their idea of focus is, and we try to emulate that, but really you have to find what your idea of focus is, and just, like, trying to reaffirm to myself that I can do all the things that I set out to do. And finding myself in that focus. That's what my attention is on. And spiritually, I feel adorned. I feel just like very gentle and loved right now. And let's see.
So, physically, I'm feeling a little chilly at the moment. There's just a little nippy on set for me.
I had more wine than her, obviously.
Me too.
I've been nippy since I came. As soon as I came down the stairs, I was like, oh, I'm a little chilly.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's the evening time too, though. They might be cooler.
yeah,
And it was raining all day.
It was.
that as well. And it wasn't like the worst feeling is like when it's raining and it's hot outside. That's so annoying. And when I came outside, I thought outside was gonna feel way cooler than it actually did because I've been in the house all day.
It does out
And when
here. In the
I-
city, it was so cold.
When I walked outside, I was like, oh. I was like, it's not cool. But emotionally, I feel I have conflicting emotions. On one hand, I feel very excited and proud because, as I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, now my baby is 3 years old. So that's just very exciting for me, and it's just very nice just seeing her like grow up and be a person and whatnot. Like
A whole human.
yeah, just having whole conversations and stuff. So that's fun. And then on the other side, though, I actually have been feeling a little down. I've been a little in my feelings lately.
About her growth?
No, not unrelated to.
Just in general.
Yeah, unrelated to Cass. So yeah, just a little a little in my feelings about what you gonna gas. Every time I say in my feelings, she's like, but whatever. And my attention is currently on. What is my attention on?
Me.
Brie. And her new haircut.
Oh, thanks.
Because I was going crazy when she was posting like little sneak peeks online. Yeah, like I was like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing right now? So that and
this was supposed to be my debut, but I was just so thirsty. I also made a video. I'll show you guys.
In the nude?
No.
In the nude.
I did take a nude photo yesterday.
Here?
In this house?
In the studio?
No.
Oh. Don't say like you don't be doing nude shoots and stuff in here.
I didn't never do a nude shoot. You just made
Girl,
me
I've
speak
seen
a
the
double
pictures.
negative.
I didn't never do it.
I didn't never. Anyway, I'm sorry, Tati. You have the floor.
Spiritually, I'm feeling a little just heavy. I just feel a little. Y'all.
Yay!
Wildly.
Thank you.
I didn't know it was a
We got it out the way. We got it out the way. We got it out the way.
That's enough.
It was
We're
good.
better.
It was
That's enough.
It was gonna happen.
Hello, everyone. It's me.
Your hair is looking amazing.
Oh, thanks you. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
She's crazy.
Thanks, guys. Physically, I am tired. I don't know why. I just can't take a nap, but I feel like I'll be asleep a lot.
That's probably why you're tired, honestly.
I need to wake up some. But yeah, so physically, I feel just tired. I just wish I had like a little more energy, and I wish there were more hours in the day. Like if it could just be 30 hours in the day, I would feel a lot better.
Tired of the thought.
I would fuck with that though. TBH.
Yeah, I think we just need to. They started all type of petitions and shit. Why can't we just have 30 hours in the day?
That means you gotta wake up earlier.
Would that mean like less days in a week though? If you made days longer?
That would be lit.
I still need like my weekends.
No, it wouldn't.
We could just
I
take
took
away
that the wrong
like.
way. I took like less weekdays and more weekends, like automatically. That's not.
We should take away like Tuesday or Thursday. Well, we need Thursday. Oh,
I
we
like
need
Thursday.
Taco Tuesday. We can take away Monday.
What about Wednesday?
We need
It's
a
a
Monday.
Wednesday.
Monday
Wednesday.
could go. Monday could go.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were like,
Wednesday is away with words.
True.
And that is all it's
Out of
ever
control.
been.
What is happening?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's been 4 minutes of us doing this.
But no, so physically I just feel a little tired, but I still feel good. Like I'm happy to be here. Emotionally, I've been going through like my mind has been racing all day because somebody told me that I wasn't emotionally open. And I feel like I'm a very emotional person. So I've just been trying to like process that and how I can be more like emotionally open. I think because like, you know, like when I don't know somebody, I'm like really quiet because I'm just analyzing like everything and it might come off as like off-putting or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty like intrigued either by how amazing you are or how dumb you are.
Right.
So it just depends on, you know, like that's usually why I'm quiet though, because I am fascinated with that person. But
Yeah.
That just sounded like they have every right to be put off. that didn't sound like
No,
but
but
you said I could be a little.
But
I'm
saying
but I could just be thinking how dumb.
But I also told this person like how I felt about them. So
you're saying that doesn't qualify for that?
yeah. So I don't know,
Right.
but I'm just trying to figure out how to be like more emotionally open.
Open your mind, open your pussy, and open your thighs, and then maybe.
What about your heart?
Yeah. Your heart will come after all of that, is what I'm saying.
I need to open my heart before I open my
Right.
pussy.
I was like,
First of all, I'm not gonna open my pussy
No,
up.
you do
My pussy
not.
just gonna get opened up. I'm not gonna open it up myself. Does that make sense?
You not independent.
Okay.
What you think of that?
So yeah, no one else got that. My attention is on being here with my friends. And spiritually, I feel good. I'm still feeling spiritually balanced, and I'm ready for my birthday. My birthday's coming up.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to get ready for that. Gemini season. Gang, gang, gang. Squad, squad, squad.
This is scary.
Olivia.
Okay, so well, first I'll say my Instagram name. I'm Live a Little.
Yes, yes.
Everybody else started off with theirs, so hey, I'm Live a Little.
Yes.
And physically, I'm feeling good, but a little bit tired. I was traveling this weekend, so a little bit tired, but also not tired because I feel adrenaline. Yes. I'm really excited to be here with you guys and to talk to you guys. Yes. So even though I landed this morning at 6:40 a.m., I'm not tired at all. I'm just maybe a little physically tired, but otherwise I'm up.
You here?
I'm here.
I like that.
Yay. Emotionally, I feel nostalgic because over the weekend I had a reunion of my elementary school. So that was a lot of people I've known for 20 years and haven't seen in 15. So it was a lot of happy emotions and stuff like that. So that's where I made it at emotionally. Spiritually, I definitely feel blessed, like Michael. I'm happy with where I'm at right now and in this moment. So I'm feeling blessed. Also went to my childhood church home while I was away, so very blessed by that. My attention is on educating you guys today. So that's why I'm here. That's why I wrote in.
Yes.
So that's what I came to do.
We're going to tell them all about it because I was just so happy. We'll get to it.
We'll chat.
I'll have a small spiel. But first things first, a little promo as well. So you know that here in Chicago, we have nothing but talented people around us, whether that's your friend or your foe. People around here got talent. So one of our friends, he goes by the name of XR. He has an amazing project coming out. And we just want to make sure that you get a little snippet of what's going to come once you check him out. So we're going to make sure that we have all his information on the screen or at the bottom so you know where to follow him and look out for his upcoming mixtape. And we're going to play a little video for you right now.
Pass out, baby. Wake up, baby. Wake up, baby. Have sex, baby. Have sex, baby. I just wanna lay up, baby. Get drunk, baby. Have sex, baby. Pass out, baby. Wake up, baby. Wake up, baby. Have sex, baby. Non-stop.
Okay, we're going to get into the Discovery Zone. Would you mind taking us there?
Yes.
First stop on the Discovery Zone.
So last week we talked about how Tierra Marie was unfortunately the victim of some revenge porn. She broke up with her dude Akbar. I don't really know what he does with his life, but
leak videos.
None of them do anything.
I think he do something.
He owns a studio.
He might have needed a coin if he leaked a video.
Yeah.
Might have needed a coin.
So he leaked some pictures of her, some new pictures of her. And
in a video as well.
In a video. A little porno. And shortly after, Tierra sought legal action and she is now suing him for revenge porn, as she should. But she's also suing 50 Cent. And 50 Cent apparently is a really good friend of Akbar's. They're really close friends. And when the pictures were posted to her Instagram page, 50 Cent posted one of the pictures on his Instagram page. And I seen a lot of people were being girl, bye, and everybody reposted those pictures, and you can't just single 50 Cent out because he's 50 Cent. But in my mind, I feel that's why you should single 50 Cent out, because first of all, you're a celebrity just like I am, so you know what it's like, to be in the public eye, to get slandered for something. And on top of that, you have 18 million followers. Right. So there are people in the world that probably would have never seen it, heard about it, knew anything about it, that you showed them. And then on top of that, he's best friends with the dude Akbar. So, and then all his captions was joking about it. He was oh, get the strap, and just everything was a joke. Like he showed, like he didn't have any remorse. Like he really didn't care anything about like what he was doing. So I feel like rightfully so that he's being sued.
So do you think she attributes like all the reposts to him? To 50 posting it?
I don't know if she necessarily,
because a ton of other people reposted all the stuff too. So I'm just wondering.
I think more so from the little clip that I watched of her when she was with her lawyer Lisa Bloom, who I don't really know much about, but she's really
everybody's
she
irritates
to be
everywhere
me
at the right time.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point now like when once she's attached to it, it automatically makes it seem like here we go. Yeah, like that's stupid. But anyways, when they did their press conference and she discussed it. It sounded more so, she touched on the fact that he has 18 million followers, so she knew that it got circulated, but I think that she's more focused on the fact that they're best friends.
Right.
So she felt like it was like a joint attack. Right. Yeah, like she felt like you personally know him, so you personally talk to him, and he probably also personally knows her. Right. So it's like, she felt like that, like him reposting it was a personal attack. It wasn't just some stranger that doesn't know her from a can of paint. Yeah, and it's just like, and you're 50 Cent, bro. Your name is supposed to mean something. Yeah,
well, he's been reckless though. So.
Yeah, but he's been making his mark as being the antagonist on social media for such a long time. So,
but it shouldn't be that. Like, you should be like. You should have some line, some moral compass, like that makes you draw a line somewhere. Like, right, especially somebody that you know. Isn't a joke.
That to me makes it even worse and like awkward. Like, even if I didn't like you, I wouldn't even indulge myself in that because we know each other. Like, that's weird.
Yeah. Like, you could have commented because, like, the game, when the Shade Room posted that she was suing and stuff, the game had comments and it was like, I took some mental pictures though. Like, so it's already in my mind. Like, so it's like, you could
maybe off the internet.
Yeah, like, he was like, take them down how you want, but I took my mental pictures.
I mean, like, mental pictures, screenshots, all of the above.
Yeah. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can make, like, harmless jokes that no one can really call you on, like, but you don't repost it. Like, yeah.
Well,
so he definitely deserves that soon, and I hope she really gets some money from him.
Well, he don't have no money. He's bankrupt.
Power about to come back on. In July.
He also explained that bankruptcy meant that you were just rearranging your finances. Also, he knows he wasn't trying to claim.
Especially like when you have your hands in business pots, like you can file bankrupt in one area and not in all.
TLC been bankrupt like 10 times.
Oh wow!
And we know how much you sold vitamin water for, so like let's not even do that.
Relax.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, in other news, arguably more happy news. Not everybody feels the same way. But the royal wedding was the quote-unquote #royal wedding was this past weekend. This royal wedding is a little bit more special and a little bit more like of a big deal because Meghan Markle is not only an American woman, but she is an African-American woman. She is a biracial woman from California. And I did not give a fuck about any of this at all from any angle, especially when because I realized what was happening because I think I was like really drunk and I woke up at like 5 something in the morning and like got on my phone and just saw, because people were waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to like watch it. Did you?
I did.
It was
not 3, it was like 5.
Oh, okay. So right.
Early,
it was 3 Pacific.
It was early.
But I was just like on my phone like, because of course I've heard of this woman. I think we've talked about her on the show before. But it was just like, they got married this weekend. Like, tight. But then I just saw so much about it, which I've never witnessed. Like, I've never seen that of like a royal wedding. So it just made me a little curious, and then, but still not curious enough. I wasn't going to seek it out, but I was, later that day, I saw that it was streaming on Hulu. Like you could just watch the whole thing. So I was like, tight. And here's the thing, like a couple of things. So like, I learned things through watching it, and it's some things that I've already known, but like Prince Harry,
fine.
Is a good looking. He's good. Okay, he looks nice. But also, he's like a good person. He's very different for the royal family as far as just like humanitarianism and just like really going above and beyond to live on through Princess Diana's legacy of really wanting to like reach out to people and care about people, and you know, live through love. And so that was kind of something that was remarkable to me. But then also Meghan Markle is like really smart, really big on this feminist thing in the right way. Started out when she was 11 years old, like writing a letter to, can't think of the name of the company, but it's a huge company, and they sell like dish stuff.
Yeah.
And she wrote a letter to them when she was 11 years old because the commercial said like women everywhere are fighting tough grease, and she was like, that's not fucking fair. Like men do dishes too. Like that's sexist. And at 11 years old, wrote a letter, and that kind of like kicked her off with like, you know, this grand like I gotta fight for women equality. So that's kind of what she's been about all this time. She's also an actress. So I was just very intrigued with this particular love story, especially because they met on a blind date. Like she didn't know who he was. That's wild. And he was a fucking prince. Like I wonder who. Like, first of all, my friends ain't shit because whoever her friend is who set her up on that blind date, my friends ain't. They really not shit. But then, last thing that I'm going to say about this, and because I came into this not caring about it, right? So then I was just intrigued by the story, like, wow, that's remarkable. But when the wedding starts, there's such like a, there's like an overwhelming amount of like British tradition, like white, like very like churchy, white Christian stuff though, like tradition. And then all of a fucking sudden, she has this Reverend Michael Curry who went off, okay? Like, I'm not a church goer, but one thing that I do know about going to a black church is that you don't go in there and not feel anything. And that's what he brought to that wedding. And this full choir of black people doing a rendition of Stand By Me, I got my fucking life, okay? I was like, wow, like, I just appreciated her. And, you know, obviously I'm assuming that this is of her urging, just like the strategic, like purposeful placement of blackness. Like, this is still my wedding. This is how I felt about it. She ain't saying none of this, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just like placement of blackness. Like, it started off so like, you know, real bougie, real like, you know, and this reverend came up and was like, well, here's what I'm about to tell y'all though. Like, and just like up there quoting Martin Luther King, like black, you know, like, and I was just really appreciative of that shit there. And I'm pretty sure there were other elements as well, but those were the things that I was like, wow. Like more than anything, like, of course, like, everybody makes a big deal and like blows things up way more than they should be blown up, but I was just proud of like, look at the grand scale of the royal, like people are up at 3 a.m. to watch this, and like for her to place this blackness, like something that white people, and especially not British white people, have any, like they have no recollection of, they don't have that in their culture. Like I was just very happy for that exposure. It just made me proud. But that was it. Which one?
I had, like, when it was first announced that they were getting married, and everybody was so excited, you know, because she's black, and like I was like happy about that, like, oh, like this is great. But over time, like when people were like people were posting pictures of her when she was a little girl, like in front of the castle, like the castle and stuff, and being like, oh, this is what happens when you can dream. Or people being like, it's about time, and it's time for them to have like a woman of color, and da da da. And I'm just like, she didn't like aspire to be like people talk about it like she's just been growing up all her life like, I'm gonna work in this castle and I'm gonna just put in this work and I'm gonna do this and do that. Like, she just got married. Like, she's a good person. Like, I'm sure she's a good person, a great young lady. I'm sure she's gonna do great. But people are talking about the situation like this is something she, like this is like President Obama, like this is something that she's been groomed for and been trying to do all these years, and now it's like, oh yes, I'm so happy for her, she finally got there. Like, she just got married. Like, that's all. Like,
but I think it's like, even more special because it's not work, it's destiny. Like, I think that, I don't know if I was reading it like that, like she worked to get there. I thought that it was like, that's some crazy manifestation for you to be a little ass girl taking a picture in front of the Buckingham Palace, and now like fast forward to you marrying an actual prince.
Yeah, and that is yes. I just mean like when I watch
he's a prince.
He's a prince.
Okay.
I just mean like when I watch like shows and like people like, you know, kind of like how we're doing, everybody's talking about it and they'll just be like, you know, she's a woman of color and I'm just so happy because it's about time and this is what they need. And I'm just like, I don't, like you, like in all honesty, y'all don't know her. Right. Like it's like y'all, like you're so happy that it's, and I'm happy too, but I just feel like people are putting way too much expectation on this. Like all she did was get married. Like let us see how she works. Like we wanted a black president, right, really bad, but we didn't just want anybody. Like we were really happy that my brother could not do that shit, okay? Like, and I wouldn't let him. Like who tried? Was it Al Sharpton that tried to run president before?
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson. Yes. Jesse Jackson. It's like we wanted a black president, but it wasn't just like anybody. Just come on, like you know, like let me see you do something before everybody starts like clapping their hands, like it's about time. Like let her do something. Like let us just see her be royal for a second. Like all I know is that she's a great actress, she's a pretty young lady, and I'm happy for her and them, but that's where it kind of
dissipates. One more thing about this and then we done. All you niggas on Instagram talking about, oh, y'all praising this black girl for getting a white man, and like black men get chastised every fucking day for dating white women. No, you don't. You don't get chastised for dating white women. You get chastised for dating white women while shunning where you came from. That's why you get in trouble. She ain't did shit to nobody. She ain't never been nowhere talking about niggas ain't shit. Ain't no tweets from the back days talking about, I don't want no darkies in my blood. I'm not fucking no niggas. Like, none of that. But y'all be doing that. Y'all be the ones talking about.
I don't want no darkies.
I don't know. That's wild. That's wild as fuck, right? I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. She wasn't doing that. But like, y'all be the ones saying like, black women to this, black women to that. And then you end up in the arms of a white woman. And then you get upset because we're like, that's fucking crazy. Because all we do is hold you down and praise you and try to lift you up.
In general, though, I do know what they're saying, though. Because in a general aspect, like when you see a black man with a white woman, like there'll be so much. We talked about it recently about with Childish Gambino, and like when people found out that he was with a white woman, like it was so much initial reaction of like what the fuck.
But that's because like, black women are scorned.
I know, but I'm just saying I get what they mean. Like when we saw Meghan Markle, there was no negative. Like from jump, it was just praise and happiness. So
the same thing happened to Dear White People too. Everybody thought that she was so like black power and stuff, and then they found out she had this white boyfriend. They're like, oh, your credibility's out the window.
Right.
Same thing.
And then come to find out her daddy white. So it's like, what do you expect people to do? But like,
only thing about Meghan is I wish that her dress would have been fitted.
Same. No.
It was pretty. I saw what she was going for with the simple. But why was it not fitted like a glove, sis? You're a royal. Like it should have been tailored perfectly. The other dress was gorgeous, but the first one I was underwhelmed.
It was cool.
Maybe she was stressed at the end and started losing too much weight.
That too, and I also think that Harry likes simple and doesn't really care about like the tight fitted, because even like to her makeup and her hair, like it almost looked like she didn't even have an MUA. Yeah, and the hair was like coming all down. I'm just like,
what's going on here? Hair and makeup cost $18,000.
I saw that.
Yeah. And I'm like, about her dress. Like they talked about when they were like working on her dress, like the sewing and stuff. That they said like the seamstresses and stuff had to like they washed their hands like every 30 minutes to maintain like the pureness and stuff like of the materials.
So they could have spent a little bit more time making sure that the dress was a little bit more fitted.
Yeah, for sure.
I liked it. I feel like just for the sake of like, I felt like looking at it, I was thinking like, oh, this is what she wanted. Yeah, like she wanted to be simple, understated, just classic, and still could have fit.
And definitely.
But I'm still happy for them. I'm still very happy. It's still a great thing in general to have a black girl in the palace and in the royal family.
Like what? That's
a great thing.
Put them on, sis, just like you did with that choir, and like the preacher who could have talked a couple minutes less. Lower the message.
But that was like the rawness and trueness of a real black church. I was like, this nigga's not gonna stop.
True.
Like people were in there
because he definitely overdid it.
Yeah,
and you could see it in their face.
Anything, Aja?
Let's get to the Oh, I was like, let's get into the
That's something for sure. She definitely.
No, because she had waved her hand. She had waved her hand a long time ago.
Like 10 minutes ago.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to the palace. It doesn't matter.
Could you take us to the Petty Parlor instead then?
Sure. Since I didn't get to go to the palace. But no, so first things first in the Petty Parlor, there was a story on the Shade Room that I came across entitled "Ball is Life," about a 25-year-old guy who re-enrolled in high school and joined the basketball team after Hurricane Harvey to relive his basketball, like, highlights, I guess, hoop dreams from high school.
So he enrolled in the high school that he went to, or just like
a new one. But at 25,
but like, and so they didn't check his ID. Like, how does that work?
Well, you know, they probably
so
just
many people coming.
Yeah, you know,
right.
like they probably like waived that.
Right,
like saying like I came from Hurricane. I was gonna say Katrina. I came from Hurricane Harvey. I don't have any of the documentation and stuff like that.
Finesse.
That's hence
But
the reason you brought that up the first time.
That's hilarious.
Not that was your reasoning though.
But what would be really funny is if he still didn't get no like court time or nothing like that. If he's trying to go back to high school,
The petty thing is that I think he said that he enrolled as a freshman too, and I think that's what makes it even pettier. Like, first of all, you're 25, so it's not like he said like, okay, I'll go and be a junior. Like, you legit was like, no, I'm starting over. This is my next stop for the next 4 years.
Wait, so did he have to start up? Did he have to try out for JV, or like was he able to apply for varsity?
Went straight to varsity because he was that good.
I'm weak as fuck.
That's actually.
Did he get arrested?
Yeah, he got arrested.
And then like I wonder, like, were you dating girls while you were there and stuff?
Please,
like,
that makes it. Oh god.
And a freshman, why can't you at least be a senior, bro? Like, why can't
one more year?
Why can't you have at least been a senior and at least gave the girls a chance to all be 17?
That would actually
in your
be like
classes.
a funny ass movie. Like, you know how like they used to make them movies back in the day?
Like 17 again.
Okay.
13 going on 30.
Yeah, that would actually be a funny ass movie.
Oh, that Melissa McCarthy movie. She's in college.
Oh, I have to see
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I love Melissa McCarthy.
Gotta see that movie.
Okay, well that's it for him. What about you, Tati? You got some petty?
You got some petty?
Yes.
I
So,
want some petty.
Amber Rose posted a picture of 21 Savage on her Instagram page and made this super long caption talking about, I love this man so much, and he supported me the most out of, like, you know, all the guys that I've ever been with, and like, don't pay attention to the blogs and the media. Like, it doesn't matter who I posted in a picture with. Like, it doesn't matter. This is who I love. Because the rumor was, like, she was at the Rolling Loud music festival, and there was a picture taken of her lighting Lil Pump's, like, blunt or cigar or something. And so the rumor was that 21 Savage saw that picture and was, like, pissed about it, right? Like, was really upset. I want to say exactly what he said. And he was pissed about it. So that's why she posted the picture. And 21 Savage, shortly after she posted that, posted a picture of himself, like, sitting in a chair. And his caption was like, "You cross me once, it's fuck you for life." So
Okay.
Yikes.
That's so sad.
It is
said, "I said what I said."
I just
said what
have
I
a
said.
question, and this is not a judgment. This is coming from a place of love. It's a real. I'm just like Amber Rose and Black China. Like, why are y'all hating these little boys? Like, why?
not so much Amber as much as
Yeah.
No, exactly.
China,
But like
the real life.
I'm just
story
saying,
already.
like, even if, because
She knew what that
I'm
was
1,000% sure that whatever was going on in that picture between her and Lil Pump was probably harmless, but it's still, like, I don't know, like, I think of my grownness, like, and I'm only 26. Amber Rose is in her 30s. And, like, I'm 26. And, like, if little ass Lil Pump,
You had that extra little day of
like, I just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see that as a situation that I would get in. But I also understand that just like,
everybody could have just been all sitting in one spot.
yeah,
Like, everybody's talking,
but it's
and
also
mingling.
just like, that's
You're not gonna be like, I'm about to sit next to him.
I'm not about to sit next to him, but it's just like, this looks like a posed
I was gonna say, that's
photo.
definitely posed.
You know what I'm saying? So
She's
it
not
looks-
on his lap. Like, she's like,
Yeah, they're across the table.
I
She's
know.
smoking. She could have had the lighter.
I know what you mean.
just-
I know what you mean, but it just looks like a posed photo, and it looks like you just kick it with little kids, and that's fine. But I feel like her and Black China are continuously getting them. And then she just get into a fight at the Six Flags, Black China.
At the.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You getting yourself in, like, really petty high school situations because you keep fucking, like, talking to little boys. Like, not to say that they don't deserve friendship, but it's just like, I just don't-
Speaking of petty things, somebody had
What is
there
you
was like
doing,
a picture
baby?
of like Black China like dressed like in a nice dress with her young dude or whatever, and then somebody posted it, and somebody's comment under it was like, oh, like Black China taking you to prom. And then her boyfriend responded like, I graduated high school. Like,
she's like, first of all, I don't go to school no more.
Right, like, he was like, cut it out.
I'm 18 and a half.
Savage.
I feel
that
bad.
was petty.
I feel like Amber really do love him.
Yeah.
Amber be in love. Every time she's in love, she be in love.
I feel like it was a genuine post, and like, of course, like,
just
who
can't
knows
catch
what's
a
going
break.
on behind closed doors? Who knows what really was happening? But just in a general sense, when somebody gives that much outpour of like of love towards you, just don't say nothing. Like if you don't feel the same way, or if like you
he's
just,
gonna
like,
text her and be like, "Get that shit off."
Maybe because he
I would have just not said anything. Like you could have just looked at it and just been like, whatever. I mean, technically, we don't know if the picture was a direct
about
response,
her, but it was real timely.
It came,
Anyway, let's get to some.
It definitely was for her.
Boys be emotional. Dudes be real emotional. We're not gonna talk about that today. That's not our main word, but we are gonna get to our actual main word. So you may be wondering. I'm sorry, I was about to be very dramatic about that. I'm really sorry. So Olivia here is more than a pretty face. She is actually, she's actually a community outreach specialist at Gift of Hope. And she reached out to me, and I was just so appreciative. First of all, it's always just an appreciation feeling of like, wow, y'all really be listening to this. And it was like,
subscribe.
It was
subscribe.
do all of that. And also rate. I'm finding out more and more that that's more important, and we should probably be telling y'all to do that. Could you do that? Anyway, so I don't even know what episode this was, but it was like a while ago, and it makes me feel so good that I feel like it is telling to your passion for what it is that you do, because I don't remember us having like an extensive conversation about it. It was like in passing, I was just like, well, I'm not gonna be no organ donor because they be selling our organs on the black market, and I'm not gonna fuck with that. And the fact that you like heard that, did your research enough to realize like these people are accessible and let me make sure that I educate her. She just reached out to me and was just like, you know what, I do what I do. I'm gonna let you tell them everything that you do. But I just love the way that she approached me. It was just like, the best thing about our blackness right now is the each one teach one method. And if you hear somebody like, I'm not going to say I was spewing ignorance, but it was coming from an ignorant place, from just not knowing. And if you hear somebody not knowing and it's no shame in being like, hey, let me make sure that you don't go out in the world not knowing, because you need to know. So, Olivia, I'm going to let you tell the kids what brought you here.
So, as you said, I'm a community outreach specialist for Gift of Hope, which is the organ and tissue donor network for Illinois. Am I supposed to be looking here or there?
You can look right at me.
Okay, I didn't want to be looking like cross-eyed or something. So yes, I work for Gift of Hope Organ and Tissue Donor Network, and my role as a community outreach specialist is to educate the community on the importance of organ and tissue donation, and then also the need, especially in minority communities, and then even more especially in our community, the African American community. So I was kind of brought to this space from a personal situation. My mom had kidney failure when I was in college, and we didn't know if she was going to make it. And a couple of years later, after being on full-time dialysis, she was blessed with a kidney donation. And so she has been able to really get her quality of life back from, being so ill. She was at one point in ICU for like 2 weeks on life support, on, just they didn't even think she was going to make it. So to go from there and not knowing what was wrong with her at that point to the point where she had a kidney transplant and where she has her quality of life back has really been an amazing journey. And I always tell people that it was hard, but I swear it was God moving us around like chess pieces. It was a difficult time in our lives, but now the fact that I work for Gift of Hope and that I can not only educate our community about the importance of this, but tell my own personal story about how we were positively affected by this process, what more could I ask for? I'm so grateful to be able to do this and to be able to do things like this. I mean, this is a podcast that I listen to personally, like not for work. So when I was listening to it, I'm like, hey, I want to tell my sisters, like, look, we need to share the right information, because that's the big thing in our community. We always talk about supporting our community financially and, supporting each other in whatever way. But we need to know facts about the process and about how our community can kind of live longer and stronger. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So you came into this hearing my stigma about being black and checking off at the DMV, like, yes, I'm an organ donor.
Yeah.
What information do we need to know to kind of keep us from being afraid of that, from what we've learned?
So I think that I've been working with Gift of Hope for a little bit over a year now, and I've come to understand that the first thing when discussing this topic is it's important to recognize the history of why people have these myths and misconceptions in their heads. This didn't come from nowhere.
Yeah.
People didn't just make this up. You didn't just get, this came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So before like 30 years ago, this transplantation was not regulated. Just the medical industry in general, minorities and especially African Americans have a distrust of it because of so many different like messed up things that happened to us over the years, from Henrietta Lacks to the Tuskegee experiment to all these different things that went on where they just like treated us like we weren't human.
Yeah.
But now the fact is that African Americans are the most in need for organ transplants. We have different things that affect us more commonly, like high blood pressure, diabetes. All those things end up leading to organ failure, yet we're the group that believes in donation the least.
Yeah.
So I say that that's really a deadly disparity for our community. The fact that we're the most in need but least likely to donate.
Right.
People are dying every day waiting for something that, our community can help us with. So, that's kind of what I start with, understanding that it didn't come from nowhere, but it's important for us to understand the facts about the process now. The fact that this is something that's completely regulated. That's why Gift of Hope is even an organization. We need to know the facts about it now. So I'm trying to think what else.
What was the first thing you said? You said one of the when you said that doesn't come from nowhere, you said like Henrietta.
Yeah. So Henrietta Lacks. There was actually a movie about her recently that Oprah did. She was a woman. I don't know exactly why they thought to study her, but she was like immune from like polio or something, which was big at the time. And so they took her like stem cells and like did a bunch of research that ended up like saving like a lot of people and like finding a lot of like cures for things, but they hadn't asked her family or her about using her stem cells. So it was like a secret, like stolen, like project that they just did on this black woman.
Yeah.
And so, we're like, what the hell? Why is all this like science
she's the like cure for like a lot of common things.
Yes.
Because of her donations she's the reason why
hers wasn't a donation, so let's be clear. That was not a donation
at
that time. That's not a donation.
The thievery, I guess we can say. Because of the thievery, was it Johns Hopkins, I think? It was a really big name hospital.
A prominent hospital.
Yeah, and but because they used her cells, she's the cure for like dang it, and I'm supposed to know this because I'm a community healthcare major. But
I love that.
Yeah, hey.
See, we have to be a part of the community so that we can know about this stuff and continue to like educate ourselves on it and know about it. So I love that you're doing that.
But because I actually went to see when the book came out, her book, her like daughter or grandchild or somebody came to our school and spoke about the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks, and we learned a little bit about it. But
it's awesome.
She's just the reason for a lot of cures that we have,
like legal action.
Well, she had died.
Her family, her family did, and that's why there's like all this like talk about it now and stuff like that. But so it's important for us to recognize those things, but like I said again, understand the facts about the process now. Gift of Hope is responsible for 3 things within our service area, which includes Illinois and Northwest Indiana. We're responsible for coordinating life-saving and life-enhancing organ and tissue donation with our hospitals and transplant centers. We're responsible for public and professional education on the topic of organ and tissue donation. So public education, that's what this is. And then professional education is we have clinical people at our organization that educate within the hospital. So all of the hospitals are mandated to work with us. So they have to know, like at what time they need to call us and whatever the case is. So we have people that specifically work with the doctors and nurses and stuff on how to work with us. And then third is supporting donor families. So after someone has gone on to be a donor, really supporting that donor family and helping them understand what their gift left, how their loved one's gift affected other people, what organs and tissue were able to be used by someone else. And then often what happens, well, maybe it's not often, but sometimes what happens is that a donor family is able to meet with the recipients of their loved one's organs and be able to be like, wow, this person is still breathing. They might not even be here today if it wasn't for my loved one's donation. Because the thing about it also is that we plan for everything else in our life. I plan to come here today. I plan to go on my vacation this weekend. Right. I know what's going on next week, but the only thing that we don't plan for is the one thing that is promised to everyone on this earth. Yeah. And that is death. Yeah. And as a community, it's something that's very stigmatized. We don't like to talk about it. When it happens, we're screaming, falling out, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, and I'm a religious person, so I believe that God has that already written out for me and what's going to happen. But, we're so afraid of it that we don't plan for this one thing that is promised to all of us. Yeah. If you would plan for it, people make wills. This is similar to, a will, but it's the will of what you don't want done with your body. So it's important for us. It's a gift that you leave to your family because when someone dies, your family's going to be asked regardless of if you're a donor or not, registered donor or not. So it's really a gift that you leave your family to say, yes, this is what I would have wanted, making it clear to them so that they don't have to decide that difficult thing at the worst time in their life anyway.
Right. I was going to ask that, So also, for more people who are just like so attached to the stigma, can you tell us a little bit about what that process looks like? Because I'm sure that with an organization like yours, like there's comfort associated with being able to go in and have conversations and start that education for personal use.
Yeah. So what happens with the process is, let's start by saying that doctors, nurses, EMTs, those type of people, they are there to save your life. That is what their job is. They don't have anything to do with organ and tissue donation. They're not the ones that have the conversation with the families. They're not the ones that perform the process. So when you go to a hospital, anyone there, their job is to do anything that they can do to save your life. If and when the time comes that you have the opportunity to become an organ donor, Gift of Hope is the ones that will come in and talk to your family. It will be a Gift of Hope staff member that comes and offers this opportunity to your family. So that's one thing that people are like, oh, my doctor's going to stop working on me because, so-and-so. But that's not even how it works. They won't work as hard. But the thing I say to people when I hear that, I thank you for bringing that up. I'm like, do you guys know doctors and nurses? Do you guys have friends that are doctors and nurses or work in the healthcare industry? Yeah. Okay. So one, they went to school for a long time. Yeah. Probably spent a lot of money, a lot of stressful nights. Yeah. None of the ones that I know go to work every day to kill people. I'm sorry. Like, that's not what they signed up to do. They take an oath of their profession, their job to save lives. And then again, like I said, that's what they are there to do. They're there to save your life. Yeah. So the next part that's important to understand is that only about 8% of death ends in any type of organ and tissue donation. Really? So you think, oh, well, people are dying every day. Like, why? Yeah. Like, what's happening to all those organs? Not every opportunity is one that can be considered for organ and tissue donation. If you expire, pass away on the street in a car, God forbid in a car accident, and you die in that car, your opportunity to be an organ donor is gone. Because just think about it, if you die in that car, all those organs are shut down too. And who's walking around with like a bucket of like kidneys, from someone out of a car? Like, it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. And maybe on TV and in movies, it looks cool.
You have to be in a hospital.
Organ donation only happens in a hospital setting. You hit the nail on the head.
Well, I mean, like, your organs can only be salvaged if you pass away in
a hospital. You're exactly right. Yep. So that's why only 8% of death ends in any type of organ or tissue donation. Only 2% of death leads to organ donation. Yeah. So tissue donation is a little bit different, but with organ donation, it's such a small group of people that die that even end up having the opportunity to do this.
And then don't you have to be like you have to make the decision in a certain amount of time, or are the organs like no good?
Yep, you're totally right.
Grey's
So,
Anatomy.
Yep. So let's not keep talking about what we learned on Grey's Anatomy, because we already said that's sensationalized and not quite right. But for that part,
That's true.
but for that part, you are absolutely right. So for each organ, it's different, and I can pull up my fact sheet. But like for heart and lungs, it's like 4 to 6 hours that you have from the time of death. For kidneys, I think it's like maybe like 32 hours or something like that. It's different for each of the organs. So that still means that the decision needs to be made. I want to pull this up just so that you can see, so I can tell you guys the exact amounts of time for each. Okay, so for heart and lungs, 4 hours. Kidneys, 36 to 72 hours. Tissue is sustained for 5 years.
Wow.
So that can be kind of used for a longer time. You don't necessarily know about that going to someone right away, because this is a little bit in depth, but tissue is actually considered a medical device, because it's kind of changed a little bit more. When we talk about like bone grafts and skin grafts and things like that, those are what are included in tissue donation. And those things can be last a little bit longer than something that's using blood in the body to pump, like an organ. And then liver, small intestines, and pancreas, you have 12 to 18 hours. So it really depends on the organs about how much time you have to kind of procure and make that life-saving transplant.
Yeah. I just had a deep thought, but when you and Tati were just talking about the time that it takes, and if you're not actually in a hospital setting, how that makes, your organs basically no good for that. It's really important for us as Black people. Like the conversation did arise from like Black people erasing that stigma so that we can help save each other. But also it comes down to us valuing each other's lives. Because in the event that we are shooting each other down in the streets, or stabbing people because we are robbing them and things like that, we have to have a certain value of life, and that in my mind like changes that ordeal a lot. Because if I was a person doing that, I got a grandma or an aunt, or who knows who need an organ,
who most likely is in need.
That's who 9 times out of 10 probably is in need. And you're taking people's lives on the streets every day and leaving them useless to help people that are still fighting for their lives.
And so 2 things about that. So one is that you said about supporting our own community. So with my mom's situation, she was on full-time dialysis for 3 years, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with kidney dialysis, but dialysis centers are popping up on every corner in Black communities because more and more Black people are ending up on dialysis with kidney failure. So with my mom's situation, she actually received what's called a directed donation. And what happened was that her donor was in a tragic accident in Memphis, Tennessee. And he was proclaimed brain dead and was presented with the opportunity to be a donor. He was, in fact, a registered donor himself. When his family was notified about the circumstances of what happened, they said, okay, he's an organ donor, but what we want to do is know exactly who these organs are going to. We don't want it to go to somebody random on the list. So they reached out to their loved ones. They actually, I think, had a family member that was in need of an organ. Didn't end up being a match for that person. But they, like I said, reached out to family and friends and got to my mom through her Facebook story. She had shared her story over those 3 years that she was waiting, just about the need in our community, about her personal need, and just advocating for organ and tissue donation in general. She reposted it like thousands of times, and other people reposted it. I always say my mom's like Facebook famous. So she reposted that. They saw her story. One of their family friends saw their story and was able to reach out to her and say, we had this loved one in this accident. We want to know whose organs are going to. Can we get your information so we can see if it's a match? That man ended up being a 100% match for my mom. It was a Black man, about the same age as her. He had a daughter my age. And, this tragedy happened, and the family wanted to have a little bit of control over it. And so they did. So they found my mom, and that's kind of where our story, went next. And she received that donation 2 days before Thanksgiving in 2016. So we're so blessed. And now I just tell that story everywhere to let people know that okay, if you're scared of it, that's fine. But like, let's look at the statistics and numbers that show that we're the ones that are the most in need. Yeah. And like, think about our brothers and sisters in that time, if we can. If your loved one has already registered to be a donor, you can say who you want them to go to. Yeah. You probably have someone in your family that's in need. The other thing I wanted to say is that even people are in need, a lot of times that's stigmatized. You might not know that someone's on dialysis. They might not want to tell you about their kidney failure just because we don't like to talk about like being sick and stuff. But if we talk about it more and let people know that this is what's going on in our community, like I'm in need, somebody else might think of you and they're, you know, in a time that they have something to offer. Yeah. You know, so it's just important. I tell people, tell your story. If you are in need, if you are a donor family that, you know, has had a loved one go on to be a hero and leave the gift to someone else, please tell your story. If you're in need, please tell your story. It'll make the biggest difference.
That's beautiful. Tell us and everybody how we can find our own information.
Yes, so you guys can find us at giftofhope.org. There's FAQs on there, but you guys can also tune in. I actually host a live call-in talk show on Chicago Community Access Television, in which we feature different guests from the organ tissue donation community, and it's just kind of an open forum for us to discuss topics within that field. Then also people to just call in and ask us any questions that we might have. We've had people share, you know, comments about how it has positively affected their family after such a terrible time, that to know that their loved one was able to save lives even through their death. Yeah. We've had people ask questions about how do you sign up to be a donor. We have, you know, you can ask or call and say anything. So you guys can definitely tune in Channel 21 if you're in the city of Chicago. It's every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7. Channel 21 CAN TV. You can also find us on Facebook, Gift of Hope Organ Tissue Donor Network, Instagram, Gift of Hope, I think _. So yeah, find us there. If anybody wants to talk to me, Live a Little on Instagram. I talk about it personally and professionally, so I'm not afraid to answer any questions. If anybody has any questions about it, if they want to know how they can help a loved one that's in need, just anything that you have about this topic, I'd love to help people on both sides of it, donor family or recipient side. So holla at your girl.
Yes. That's amazing. First of all, I'm so happy I didn't cry.
You were tearing up.
I thought you were about to cry. Yes. I was looking at your eye and I was like,
I cried. You know.
My face was crying. I was kind of sweating.
I was sweating.
She is about to cry.
Well, I'm so appreciative, and to show our appreciation, Tati wants to play a game with you.
Oh, I love games.
It's called Pop That Pussy 2000.
Okay.
That's a follow-up mixtape.
Oh, Pop That Pussy 2000. No, that name could be 3000.
Everybody.
You guys can't tell everybody like the names of the mixtapes.
Oh, that's true, because we gotta drop them.
But I'm gonna just drop it randomly. They ain't gonna know when it's coming.
But by that time, somebody can steal your shit she's saying.
I'll beat their ass.
Oh, wow.
It's happened to me.
Okay, ladies. So the game is called This or That. So I'm just gonna name two things, and you just tell me which one.
Are we playing too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Everybody is gonna answer. You just tell me which thing you would want or like.
I should like better.
So first one is Bring It On versus Mean Girls.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with this just for.
Wait, no. Which one would you rather, Bring It On or Mean Girls?
Bring It On.
Bring It On.
Mean Girls.
My first thought was also Mean Girls. I think Mean Girls low key.
Bring It On for sure. Skittles.
So Michael says Bring It On too.
I say Bring It On.
Yes. Skittles or Starburst?
It depends on the bag of Skittles. If it's that turquoise bag,
the original, both the original.
Oh,
so the red Skittles and then like the yellow
Starburst. Starburst.
Well, both of them I am picky about the colors, so but I probably pick Skittles, but no green and yellow for me.
Yes.
I think Starburst.
Skittles.
Skittles.
We're right here.
Lipstick, lip gloss.
Lipstick.
But lip gloss is really making a comeback.
It is. I just asked them on Instagram about that a couple weeks ago.
I think I responded.
Yeah.
Like, lip gloss is definitely back popping. Is lip gloss a thing
still, or?
That gloss bomb from Fenty.
Shut up.
Made it back popping. Sorry.
I'm really into the mixture, which is like lip tints.
Yes.
I love lip tints.
Yes.
Because they're a gloss, but they give more
not an
like an
option.
actual color.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an option.
So,
That's
okay,
me.
lipstick. Then.
Okay.
T'Challa from Black Panther or Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Bitch, come on now.
I'm gonna have to go with Killmonger for 500.
Yeah, like Killmonger for all the money in my
But
account.
actually, I'll
Who
go
would
with
you want to
T'Challa.
be your king?
T'Challa for sure.
I would, yeah.
Is this your
say
king?
T'Challa.
Is this your king?
But Killmonger can be.
Okay,
right.
so we're gonna have 2 tiers of this. Okay, so who would you want to be your man, and who would you want to be the king of your
Killmonger for both. The king of my pussy.
I can't wait.
Yeah, Killmonger for both. For
Killmonger
me.
for both.
me.
Killmonger would be the king, and he would be my man.
I'm going to just. I told Brie a long time ago I wanted to be with both of them. So
Wow.
I don't know.
Choo choo.
I don't know.
Who do you want to
No,
be
it's
king
not.
of
I would be
Wakanda?
fucking them at the same time.
Who do you want to be king of Wakanda?
If they be a rotation.
That's not the question. The question is who's
I'm not
king
good at
of
separating
Wakanda,
things.
and then who's your boyfriend? Who's king of Wakanda?
Your boy-
I want them to know what kind of panties I got.
You're not answering her question.
I don't care.
Care about your
Who's
damn
king of
panties.
Wakanda?
Okay, I'm gonna say I'll take Killmonger as my BF because he's fine, and then I'll let T'Challa be king,
Okay.
so he can like work, and my man can be with me.
Oh, that's nice.
You wouldn't answer it. Like you,
She's like, that's good. Yeah, that.
Yeah, what
But no, I still no. Okay, so
It's too late.
no, it ain't because I would want to be with T'Challa too because Killmonger died.
Damn, that's
So I
Based off
cannot.
the movie for real.
you like, I'm not a widow.
I'm not saying
I
in real
can't
life.
do that.
Okay, Aja can't do it.
Okay,
Moving
moving on. Bridesmaids, girls trip.
Bridesmaids.
Oh,
Bridesmaids.
That shit is hilarious.
But I love
Girls Trip
Yeah,
is
Girls
so
Trip
good.
was good.
It gave
It
me
was for
my
the culture.
It gave me my feels that it was for the culture, but Bridesmaids
We quote.
is
No, yeah,
Is
we
it
did
weird
quote
that I fell
Bridesmaids.
asleep on Girls Trip the first time I watched it?
no,
Were you
it's
really
not weird.
tired?
I was, but
I
still.
watched it at home though. I didn't see it in theater.
I watched it at home. I didn't see it in theaters.
Oh, I saw it in theater.
It didn't. Bridesmaids for me too. More so just because I feel like Well, maybe that's what I'm about to say. I felt like Bridesmaids gave me more initial laughs right off the bat, but actually Bridesmaids did it because the very first time I saw Bridesmaids, I was like. What, like what is the big deal?
No,
like,
Girls
you
Trip
had
did give me
to-
initial
Yeah,
laugh.
Girls Trip is more like in your face, funny,
yeah.
and like Bridesmaids is very like
You have to watch it
understated.
again
And you have to
in
listen
the
to all the
background.
nuances and just everything that's happening.
I feel a certain type of way about Tiffany Haddish's humor though, so that's a different thing. So
Make you feel some type of way.
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
why would you do this to me?
It feels wild as fuck to say Cardi B. It feels wild just because longevity, just because
Yeah,
But Cardi B, like in this
Cardi,
space of
for
time, Itty Bitty Piggy, Nicki Minaj.
But
Mixtape Nicki over Cardi
so-
B. Any mixtape Nicki over any Cardi B. Nicki Minaj.
If we had to, like, that's what I'm saying. If
but
somebody
in
was gonna
just
be a
this
guest on the
space-
show, and they were like, "You want Nicki or you want Cardi?"
Cardi, she's gonna be fun as fuck. Not to say that Nicki wouldn't be, but like
Nicki's probably
I feel like I
not
would
to
have
I wanna
so
be
much
Nicki.
fun with Cardi B. I would just crack the fuck up laughing at her. She would be my friend.
Nicki,
Cardi.
Cardi, Nicki.
yeah,
Nicki's my birthday
Nicki.
twin though, so I love her. But
you know me. We
you'll
are
probably
going
be
to
turned off by her though after like working with her. I hate to say.
I think a lot of people say that. I've heard that
worked
before,
with her?
but
I've heard. I mean, not like personally, but
Oh.
you know,
I was
interviews and
like,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
They be
Yeah.
like, she's a bitch.
I believe it.
me too. But
Yeah.
I gotta stay loyal to you.
Designer shoes or designer bags?
Nigga bags. I don't care about either of those things.
Speak for yourself.
I
sis.
think.
But if I have to choose, then I would say shoes probably. Cause I want pockets, yo.
Here's the thing, though. Designer
Okay,
to
bags.
me for shoes, I'm thinking of drip shoes.
Right.
I'm not thinking of like heels and shit.
Yeah.
So like if they mean gym shoes versus
Adidas
designer bag, then I stay in some Nikes and my Adidas and stuff. But
They mean like Louboutin.
Right.
Shit. Little goofy
But those
shit.
are like on your feet and on the ground. Like a bag you can really keep nice for
And it
longer.
comes
A shoe
back
you're
in.
gonna
right,
be
I
walking.
would
Yes.
definitely rather a designer bag than some designer heels.
Yeah.
But I love gym shoes.
Everybody's
that's
just like,
why.
no.
Same. I don't
Yeah.
care about
So you
either.
would want those Balenciaga mountain climber boot shoes?
Haven't seen them.
The ones
They're
that look like that.
Idiot.
Oh,
Oh, not the mountain climbers.
I haven't seen them. Okay. Lemonade album. Beyonce album.
Lemonade.
Because she does nothing but grow. Everything that she does is better than the last thing she did.
Exceeds expectations.
Lemonade told
time.
a story.
I like Beyonce.
It did.
And then it was that full visual album too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lemonade was a moment though. Like that was like a legendary moment.
Yeah.
Beyonce was too, but not like this.
We'll talk about
Beyonce was way more, but it could also be because I heard Lemonade late too. Like I
you
feel
was
like
on
I
the
was.
plane.
I was say I got right off that plane.
Yeah.
After, I got
I
right
don't
off
know,
and
but I
watched
just feel
that
like I was
shit.
just late to the party. Period. Like I didn't like jump on it the same way. Like when Beyonce dropped, like I was like, you know, like I was just on it. I feel like I was in the moment with everybody else. When Lemonade came out, it was like I came around like a week later, like okay, let me listen to this type of thing.
I had to get on it.
Yeah, I was about to say as soon as I got off that plane,
Last one, chocolate cake, chocolate chip cookie,
chocolate cake. No, chocolate chip cookies.
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 But it depends.
It totally
Oh,
depends. It totally depends.
Because when I'm
that's
thinking
right.
about, because I eat Roti cookies a lot, cookies from Roti.
Ooh, those are
And when I think
so
about those
good.
chocolate chip cookies, then it's chocolate chip cookies. But when I think about like a good moist chocolate cake, though, there's really nothing that can beat that to me.
With the perfect like chocolate frosting.
Yeah, and they don't.
See, I don't like chocolate cake.
cake. I like chocolate cake, but it's not my favorite kind of
That's how
cake.
you say it.
Yeah,
And I like chocolate cake.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll eat it, but I prefer like a vanilla.
She'll eat
cupcake.
it. She'll eat it.
My favorite kind of cake is
I'll give
marble
you-
cake.
Bitch, that
So-
marble cake out of what's her face? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call
Bree
it.
is
bitch.
always in my ear trying to convince me to buy marble cake when
That
I be
shit
grocery
good.
shopping. I be like, should I get these slices of marble cake? She'd be like, yes, get
Yes,
it.
the whole
Do
box.
it.
She is so good.
I'd be like, well, maybe I'll try the vanilla. No.
Get the marble.
She'd be like, marble.
Get the marble. It won't let you down. Okay, thank you for that
Guys.
game. That was fun. You had to knock it the fuck off. I had thought, no.
Yes. Catfish. So apparently Neve, who was my favorite, one of my favorite men in the world,
It's the deepest one.
might be being accused of sexual misconduct on his show. Apparently there was some girl from a couple of seasons ago who was doing like a
YouTube
Instagram
channel.
Live or YouTube. She was doing something where she said
Trying to get
that
on.
during her experience on the show, there was a guy named Jack who was like just saying, making explicit comments towards her, like asking her about like being a lesbian and if she's really a lesbian and is she sure because she could try him out because he has a big dick.
His dick is so big.
And I looked because I really wanted to see her face. They took her episode off of Hulu. Like that, they have that whole season. They took her episode off. So
Yeah, I
whatever
don't
it
even-
is,
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's because she got them taken off of the air.
Yeah.
So MTV has suspended Catfish for the time being while they investigate the scenario. And during the investigation, people started assuming that Jack was Neve. So Neve came out and made a statement basically saying like,
I don't know.
that's 100% false. Like, I didn't do that. But my knock it the fuck off is really to the whole situation.
Okay.
It's not necessarily just to the girl because I never want to, because she didn't name a name. So I don't know who she was referring to. Like the cast and everybody assumed Neve, but she could have been talking about anybody. So I don't know who she was talking about technically.
Right.
But my knock the fuck off is really to just the whole scenario. Like, because to suspend the show means that you're telling him that he's guilty until proven innocent, and it's supposed to be the other way around. Like somebody making a claim that has no grounds, no, like you've never heard a whiff of this. There's no proof, and to automatically the very next day and be like, oh well, you guys are suspended until we figure this out.
So you think it's just
I've
the
already
time?
been punished. It is the time. It's
Yeah.
the climate, and it's everything that's been happening. sorry, I touched your breast, and then I did it again. But it's just the climate and just all the things that have been happening, and I just feel like people want to jump on the bandwagon, and they also don't want to become the next headline and be like, MTV didn't care about me when I said this, and this. But I also feel that certain companies take opportunities to jump on the bandwagon when it's a situation that won't really hurt them. Like, because I don't think Catfish is currently on a new season right now.
They just got off.
Right, so it's like you're suspending the production of the next season. It's not like you had to actually take the season off the air.
But what
I feel like they take advantage of like I was kind of feel the same way when Spotify took R. Kelly off their like playlist things. I feel like R. Kelly's not like people's not like, not R. Kelly. Like,
but first of all, they still
like
playing reruns of Catfish. I've seen reruns on recently.
You said first of all,
and they're also they're doing like the little after season specials because they definitely just had like one with like Charlemagne on last week. So it's like Tati said, it's not anything that's really hurting the. Currently.
They just did it so that you could say like, oh, MTV cares. Like MTV suspended the show until like they investigated.
And if this young lady is talking about Neva, I don't believe it because the things that she was saying that he's saying that Neve said, Neve does not talk. Neve Shulman does not talk like that.
That is not me.
I would be so heartbroken. That would be like
because I could just picture him like
Neve is one of the greatest human beings I think are on this planet. The way he comes up on that show,
no, that could be a Poppy show.
Nice.
He really be trying to help.
Nice. He a writer. He don't go for no BS. He be holding his people down.
He don't be treating them like that.
He treats them sometimes. Max is just the one that be.
You better back up when that
crazy man. Neve was not going when that. It was this crazy white boy that tried to like fight this black guy. Neve was on crutches, and Neve still jumped in the middle. Like he was like.
He was like, that's my man.
That's my man. And he never out here talking about you. I got a big dick. So
right.
Not this. With his wife and baby at home.
I'm gonna say you just had a baby.
Right. Never.
But you never know about these.
Right. But I believe in the innocent until proven guilty.
Know about these men.
I don't agree with the new wave of being guilty until proven innocent.
Right. So that's why we shouldn't just stop listening to R. Kelly.
You said we shouldn't stop listening to R. Kelly. I don't think that we should stop listening to R. Kelly. I think that we should no longer give him money so he can throw parties with 17-year-olds.
So I can still play my Chocolate Factory.
If you got the album and you already paid for it, don't give him no new money.
Oh, okay.
I can still play my Chocolate.
She's like, good. Chocolate Factory is a really good album. That really is breaking my heart, but I'm not gonna even talk about it because you know what. So let's get into praises due. Tati, that's you.
Ooh. So praises due to my all-time favorite male hip-hop artist.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, wow.
I don't know. You gotta hear the breakdown. Male hip-hop artist. J. Cole. He did an interview with Angie Martinez. It was like an hour, 30 minutes long. 46 minutes long. And aside from the interview being just amazing and just the different things he was talking about and listening to him, and I just loving his point of view, I was more so giving him praises due for the fact that J. Cole brings me back to the feelings that I had as a child growing up, loving my favorite artists, and it being a big deal when I bought a magazine because they were on the cover and I was getting a chance to like see what they thought about something. Because you know, these days, you know what everybody's thinking. You get to see everybody's point of view, and you get to see what everybody's like kind of doing behind closed doors in a sense. And I like the fact that J. Cole still gives me that nostalgia feeling of a real artist. Like, I only really get to appreciate him for being an artist. Like, I don't get to appreciate him for anything else other than in these rare moments. Like, I completely forgot that he's a husband and a father. Mm-hmm. Like, I completely forgot that because I don't get to see him. And seeing that made me realize how amazing that is, to just let somebody's art speak for themselves, and that I'm not so caught up in just J. Cole or Jermaine. I'm not just like obsessed with him, but I am obsessed with or without all the other stuff.
And I'm just sitting here thinking that my hot ass didn't even read the articles in the magazines. I just hung the posters up.
Oh no!
The magazine. You're like, this'll do.
If Usher was on the cover of a magazine, I was reading that article from the
No, I remember those. Tell me about your hot. You ripping the words off the edge of some words.
What the hell is this?
What the
picture?
Anybody want to see this shit?
And it was exciting, just knowing. I felt so proud, like, you know, when I'd be like, Usher's my favorite artist, and I felt so proud to be able to tell people, like, I know his birthday, I know this, because back then that meant you did real research on a person to know those things.
Exactly.
These days,
I thought I was using the internet.
just gotta do it quick, but not. I was 8 years old.
Yeah, but
Yeah, my first crush was when I
weren't
was
big like
actually
that.
my first real crush was
Chris Brown.
You
Yes.
mean it wasn't Lil
Oh
Bow
yeah,
Wow?
see,
No, I wasn't a Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo. Like I liked B2K, but
I
I
can't
wasn't
touch
like
my titties.
crazy. But Chris Brown, I love
That Run It Tour did it for you?
Yeah.
My first crush was pre-internet, or not even pre-internet, but when internet first started. Like we were getting our first computer in our house when I was getting obsessed with.
I was obsessed before computers. for sure.
So yeah.
Well, not before computers, of course. Talking about BC.
But you had your CDs though.
I was
had a CD
out
case
here, my nigga,
Cassette
like
player.
with a Discman.
First
My
of all,
Walkman.
Love my
I still
Walkman.
have the tape of Black, the 808 tape with you turn it over and it's the remix. That shit really
gotta
did
see
it
that.
for me.
How much you want for that?
Tell me how much you want for that.
What was your first CD that you ever bought?
My first CD was Spice Girls. It
What
was
was your first CD?
It might have been Spice Girls. I want to say 3LW, but I had CDs before that.
yeah,
What was
that's
your
right.
Maybe Craig David.
Ooh, you better throw it back with
My
Craig.
first CD was Cleopatra.
Cleopatra, coming at ya.
That was the
Get
first
it,
album that I ever physically went into
Wow,
a
I did
store,
not know they had
pointed
multiple
it out,
songs.
and said, "I want
Right.
this." Like that was the first album I ever
Never
bought.
knew
That might be valid.
I don't even know if I listened to all the songs. though.
Yeah,
But I
which one
wasn't. Which one wasn't Sasha? Which one wasn't Sasha? Like they're jumping on their bed and doing all that stuff. So that's what I was doing. I was just turning on.
Which one was it? Which
All
one
right.
was it, baby?
No, I was just gonna say I actually left my first CD in the movie theater,
I would have beat your ass.
but I went back and got it. I went back and got it. It was in my. I had a cute ass lime green
Not a
backpack
cute
purse.
Was
It
it?
is-
Oh my god, guys! All right, so
Make
first
sure
of all,
y'all listen to that J. Cole interview. He had tons of great tidbits for y'all.
in
Jules.
titties. I'm going to do a Life as a Catalog because we haven't done Life as a Catalog in a really, really long time. So if Life as a Catalog is foreign to you, Life as a Catalog is my idea of just that. Like, life is a catalog. So every time you're walking down the street and you see something that is favorable to you or something that you desire, don't take that moment and be like, oh man, I wish I had that. Oh man, how the fuck they get that? Take that moment and understand that the universe is putting you on that same wavelength. You wouldn't see it if it wasn't attainable to you. And in that moment, you got to show gratitude, like immense, more than you, like all the gratitude that you can muster up when you see something that you want that close to you. You got to like really fucking turn up, and the universe is going to capture that shit and give you what you want. So anyway, my Life as a Catalog actually goes to myself because I feel like
I'm like, bitch, work. Nah.
like I was saying, cutting my hair off on Saturday night and just being like the ease of it, like to me it didn't feel like courage, but it was, you know, to a certain extent. And I got some pieces coming soon for y'all later this week just about that whole journey and how I feel about it. But also what I noticed was just like there was courage there, and that is courage that I can apply in every other element of my life. Like it's shit that I really am afraid of. And I need to just like have that same bad bitch mentality. And the fact that I was a bad bitch about cutting my hair off lets me know that I'm on the wavelength to have that same energy in every other walk of my life. So that's where I'm at with it. Any other last remarks from you niggas?
Nope.
No.
Forever hold y'all peace. Well, that's that.
Register as an organ and tissue donor if you have not.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Join the organ and tissue donor registry. If nothing else,
Yes.
have a conversation with your loved ones. If for some reason you're afraid to like put it on your driver's license, please just like have this conversation at dinner with your family. Tell them what your wishes are, just so that you guys can all be on the same page, and it doesn't have to be something that is like, ooh, let's not talk
What
about
if you
that.
a heavy smoker or a heavy drinker?
Well, don't
Can
think
you still
about
do
that
it?
right now. We just want you to.
Can you still do it?
We just want you to live a long, healthy life, and if and when the time comes, doctors will do everything that they need to do to evaluate what can be used. They won't give someone something that's bad from you. They'll evaluate everything. So if it's your wish to give, just sign up, and they'll do all the rest later. We just want you to live a long, healthy life.
That's amazing. And tell them one more time where they can find you and where they can find the org.
Yep, find us at giftofhope.org. Follow us on Facebook, Gift of Hope Organ and Tissue Donor Network, on Instagram, Gift of Hope _ I think. And then watch me on Tuesday nights, 6:30 to 7, CAN TV, Channel 21, every Tuesday, 6:30 to 7. Let's Talk Donation with Gift of Hope is the name of the show.
And she is at Live a Little.
At Live a Little. I post on the gram.
And we've been living a lot tonight.
Okay.
For a Monday.
We have.
So appreciative of you coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Very, very inspirational and educational. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And for being fun, because you came here to talk to us about something that's semi-serious, but you still let us clown. So I appreciate that.
Love it.
So thank you all for being here, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. Please continue to do all the things that you've always done, but also, in addition to doing what you've always done, do something a little bit more, because we do need your ratings. So please rate us on Apple Podcasts or on SoundCloud or wherever you listen to us, and make sure that you're subscribing and sharing and commenting. We are starting to churn out more blog posts on yaymash.com, so give us your feedback, comment, hit us up. You can follow you can follow us at Away With Words the Podcast on Instagram, Twitwat, Facebook, right here on YouTube, and you can also follow me at Bree.stories on Instagram and Bree_stories on Twitwat, and at A_Tati on Instagram, and at Hey Tati on Twitwat, and Ajano Asia at Ajano Asia everywhere. Yes, everywhere. And thank you guys so much. We're so excited to see you next week. Everybody say bye. Bye.